Hi guys, I'm Bulletproof Bee and welcome to my third raw video. Today is going to be a bit of an interesting topic. I did a bit of a poll on my Instagram as to what people wanted to see from me, and I got asked to talk about the topic of validity and feeling valid. And I've had to do a lot of thinking about this, and I've actually ended up with like pages of notes of things that I want to talk about. And the first thing when I was starting to write down my notes for this vlog was this idea of what is it to be valid and what is this idea of validity. If you Google valid, the word, for a definition, Oxford Dictionary has things about something having a definitive backing, so in like a legal sense or whatever, then you can back something, it is valid. But in terms of what I'm talking about here, which is in terms of a person feeling valid, there is no definition, because it's a socially made construct that we've done, and it's something that I've noticed coming about more and more in the past few years of, oh, am I valid? Oh, is what I'm going through valid? And I've come up with my own definition for valid, which is determining your worth based on other people's views and experiences. Now, first off, I just want to say, what the hell is that? I mean, if that is, I like to think that's a pretty good definition that I've come up with, and I like to think that other people, when they think of, internally when they think to themselves, am I valid, that that's the sort of things that they're doing. They are comparing themselves to other people and their experiences, and oh, does that make me valid in myself compared to them in this world, in this society? And what the hell are we doing? We shouldn't be living our lives determining our validity in terms of our reference to other people and other people's experiences, and whether what we've done is equal to or better than or worse than other people. That shouldn't be how we are judging ourselves and other people. And this whole case of asking ourselves, am I valid? If you're someone that does this, I really just want you to think, what would you be trying to determine your value next to? This sense of feeling valid, what are you comparing that to? And honestly think, is there anything there that is actually a substance to be determining your worth and your validity next to? I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was saying what my next vlog was going to be about, and I said that it was going to be about feeling valid, and she instantly turned around and said that I was, and I was like, oh, okay, that's lovely to hear. How am I valid? I just wanted to sort of quiz her and just sort of say, right, okay, so what do you determine as being valid? And the first thing that she said was, well, you're alive. And that really hit home, and I just thought, right, okay, why aren't we keeping this view? Why can't we all have this similar logic that my friend gave me? And I just thought that was such a beautiful way of summarising it, just that being alive makes us valid. Having emotions and having thoughts, having an existence makes us valid. We are entitled to ourselves, and no one should be making us feel any other way. And that is the next point that I wanted to come to, that it isn't something that can be assessed through other people. Our validity isn't something that we can assess through what other people have done or said or their views on us. One of the things that I think is coming about a lot more today is, ironically, through the way that I'm doing this, social media. And a lot of people, I think, are drawn into this idea nowadays that the more followers you have, the more likes you have, the more that you are valid, the more that your channel is valid, and all these sorts of things. And I think that's really put a different stigma on how we view ourselves and how society just views life at the moment, that we are stuck in this cycle of needing to have these other people give us this value and this sense of being valid through liking our photos, subscribing to our channels, and that isn't what it should be about. I mean, like, for example, I'm doing this channel right now and I have my Instagram and things like that. Yes, if it gains a big following, that's brilliant because I want to help more people, but I'm not I'm not doing this to give myself a sense of feeling valid. I'm not doing this to gain a sense of myself or anything like that. I'm literally doing this to give out and to give back. And I think that people need to understand that with things like social media, that it's not up to other people to be putting that on you, that your social media doesn't make you any more or less valid if you have more or less followers, that it's just a case of you as a person out in the real world. That's what really matters. I mean, we can all hide behind a screen in some senses. I mean, some people are quite honest on social media, some people probably only show the good things, some people possibly only show the bad things. We all have a way that we portray ourselves, but it's our true self that's out there living in the world, and it's our thoughts and our feelings. Those are the things that I keep on obviously referring to the sense of feeling valid, but personally I think there's no real point in saying that we're valid or not, because we all are. And I think that it's a sad thing that's come about, that we're all having to question our validity in the world. I'm kind of curious as to what actually started this big trend now about everyone being so concerned. But I guess that's something for another video. Anyway, staying on topic, the next point that I wanted to make is that being valid isn't something that can be visually assessed either. Now, this is where I'm going to talk a little bit more about sort of the main point of my channel with disordered eating and things like that. But this is applicable in many situations, so think about this in whatever situation that you're in. Okay. So you have a dog in front of you, okay, and that dog is looking severely malnourished, it's skin and bones. You would look at that dog and you would think, oh my gosh, I want to care for it, I want to look after it. Then if you had a dog next to it that appeared perfectly healthy, fit and healthy, and was normal size, everything was fine, but then you were told that that dog hadn't eaten for 3 days and was being really ill-treated, you would still have the same feelings towards that animal as you did the other one. It doesn't matter about their appearance, that doesn't then determine whether they need help or not. We give them help. But why is that only applicable with things like pets? Why don't we do that with ourselves? I've had people who have spoken to me and said that, not that I'm not within my right to do what I'm doing, but that there are people with worse disorders than me, that it's not up to me to be spreading my word and things like that, because I am not the worst person out there with what I'm dealing with. And that was one of these things that got me thinking about the sense of being valid. And basically this person, well, okay, like I say, I've heard it from a few people, but this one person in particular was making reference to the fact that I wasn't apparently skinny enough to be anorexic. And there are a lot of people who have similar ideas that certain eating disorders, that other conditions across the mental health, in some ways physical health spectrum, have a look, and achieving that look makes you valid within your disorder or your illness or whatever it is that you are dealing with. And to put it bluntly, that is total bullshit. In my situation in particular, what I'm dealing with is a mental disorder, and I may not have ended up being completely skin and bones, but my BMI was so low, still is very, very low. I'm out of the danger zone now if people are interested in my health in that sense, but my BMI got scarily low. I wasn't put on a feeding tube purely because I'd been taking multivitamins, which meant that I wasn't deficient in anything that warranted it. I've had times where I've not been able to walk when I've been on the verge of fainting. Other people, yes, they will have had it worse. Other people will have had BMIs that are lower than mine, but that doesn't matter. I am valid within myself, within my disorder. Other people have messaged me saying that they don't feel like they are valid, that they don't feel like they deserve help because they haven't dropped down to certain weights or things like that. And oh my gosh, anyone who is watching this, like I say, I'm talking specifically about eating disorders because it's what I know. I'm not going to pretend I know things that I don't. But if this is remotely applicable to your situation, oh my gosh, everyone out there is valid with what they are dealing with. Everyone, with everything that is going on in their lives. And again, eating disorder related, people who are overweight, who are dealing with an eating disorder. That's kind of one of the points I was trying to make with the talking about the dog. Because, like I say, mental illness, it's not a look, it's not something you can determine by looking at someone. Someone can be overweight and haven't eaten for a week. And if you want to turn around and say to them that they are not valid, that they are not valid within what they are doing, oh my gosh, no. Everyone is valid, everyone who is alive is valid within themselves. Everyone deserves help, no matter what the help is, at any stage in their lives, with anything that is going wrong. Everyone... I'm not going to try and preach at you about human rights and all this sort of stuff, but this whole logic of being valid, like I said at the beginning, it is a social construct, and there is no way to be valid or become valid, because we all are. The minute that we are born and the minute that we are thinking and talking, we are valid, and we all have the same right to speak our mind. We all have the same right to get help. And yeah, I think that's the main point I'm just trying to get across to everyone, that don't go looking for a way to be valid, because, cheesy as it sounds, it's within you. And if anyone, like I say, wants to comment or message me on my Instagram, here, wherever, if anyone wants to talk to me about anything, I am confidential. I will support anyone who is feeling a bit lost. But I really just want everyone to accept within themselves, within whatever little world that you are living in, that you are valid as a person within whatever you are dealing with. There is no case of being better or worse. We're all alive, therefore we are all valid. Yeah, that's basically all I really have to say on the matter there. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you might have gotten something from this. If you want to, like, comment, please subscribe. I'm going to try and put out more material like this. And yes, I will hopefully see you in the next video. So, love yous.